is vegan style.
Howdy, friends. So, guess what? This guy is not the only vegan in the world. There are tons of vegans. Some are frail and weak. Some are interested in ethics and are very smart and philosophical. Some are bodybuilders. Some are very muscular. Some are endurance athletes. Some are swimmers. Some are runners. Some are NFL football players. Some are former basketball players. Some are actresses, musicians, politicians, and more. Check out my review of the best vegan celebrities in the world. So what is my criteria of what really makes a great famous celebrity vegan? So the first thing is that they contradict the status quo. An example of this is a vegan bodybuilder. Most people associate veganism with skinny hippies. So if they are proving that they are in a field, mastering in a field that usually you would never associate with veganism, that is the number one thing that I consider. Second is, are they promoting and talking about their veganism publicly? There's a lot of closeted vegetarian and vegan famous people because some people have negative associations with vegan and vegetarianism for some ridiculous reason, so they're shy about it. They keep it in their personal life. They don't want to talk about it because they don't want to be judged. But I love a vegan celebrity that talks about their veganism, is proud of it, and promotes the cause. And my third and final classification for an amazing vegan celebrity famous person is, have they been a part of a nation or worldwide campaign promoting plant-based nutrition or animal ethics or a combination of both? So have they been involved directly with a PETA campaign? Or have they teamed up with the Colin Campbell Foundation? Were they featured in a vegan documentary? Things like that. Have they gone out of their way to join a campaign that probably is not in their, financial interest? They're not getting paid, but they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. This video would be worthless without devoting the number one greatest vegan celebrity to Sir Colin Campbell. Colin Campbell is the professor emeritus at Cornell University for nutritional biochemistry. He is the author of the pivotal work, The China Study, which I like to call the Bible of plant-based nutrition, and he came out with a new book in 2013 called Whole, which discusses the political agenda of the FDA, the USDA, and the big food manufacturers of our world. Colin Campbell has devoted the past half century of his life. He is 80 years old, and he has been spending about 50 years researching and promoting his findings on plant-based nutrition. What's so amazing about Colin Campbell is that he came from a background of traditional education in nutrition science. He was told that milk and a high-protein standard American diet is how you cure people of disease, how you get people healthy, how you solve malnutrition in starving countries. And pretty much once he became a professional after school and started applying all these skills, he realized that it was all terribly wrong, and he began to do his own research. What he found out was that he could reverse the progression of breast cancer on lab rats strictly through changing their diet. So no other control changed. If they were fed a high protein, animal protein diet, their cancer progressed. And if they were fed any amount of plant-based protein, high or low, none of it progressed. He was also featured in the famous documentary Forks Over Knives. Colin Campbell also created the certification in plant-based nutrition course, which is available to all people online, and I've graduated from it myself. The plant-based movement would be nowhere as far as it is today without the work of Colin Campbell and all he has done. And number 2 of my favorite famous vegans, Rich Roll. Rich Roll does not only have one of the most moving and inspiring plant-based personal stories I've ever heard in my life, but he is also a personal friend of mine and has spoken at a CC Plant Strong event at my school, which I thank him greatly for. To make his long story short, Rich Roll found himself as a father and a husband in Los Angeles being a lawyer with a stressful job, suffering from an alcohol and drug addiction, and being about 40 pounds overweight to the point where he had trouble walking up the flight of stairs to his bedroom. So, what did he do? He turned his life around, went on a juice cleanse, went plant-based, began to work out, and 5 years later, he was in Men's Fitness magazine, one of the top 25 fittest human beings on the planet. Rich Roll created and completed the Epic 5 race, which is where he did 5 Ironmans within a week on all 5 Hawaiian islands. He is an finalist and champion. He has raced many Ironman races, and he is the living inspiration that no matter where you are in your life, however down you are physically, emotionally, spiritually, you can turn it all around by tweaking your diet, getting motivated, surrounding yourself with good people, educating yourself, and you can unlock and unleash the best person within. He also runs the Rich Roll podcast, which I am a subscriber to. I listen to it every single week. He also has an online class on Mind Body Green, as well as him and his wife have a nutritional supplement company called Jai Seed, which you can check out on his website, Plant Power. He is a total inspiration and also just the nicest dude in the world. Number 3 goes to Gene Baur. Gene Baur is one of my largest inspirations. He is the founder of Farm Sanctuary in New York. He is what it means to be an ethical vegan. Farm Sanctuary is a safe space for abused and rescued farm animals that were being raised for slaughter in abusive conditions to come to a sanctuary, be fed a healthy diet for what they have evolved to eat, and have a safe space to live, roaming the grasslands for as long as they need until their life and time is up without the fear of being slaughtered and eaten. Gene Baur has been featured in so many media sources, from the New York Times, Los Angeles Times, Chicago Tribune, the Wall Street Journal, and he also has a book called Farm Sanctuary: Changing Hearts and Minds About Animals and Food. He also teamed up with Neil Barnard to an Intelligence Squared debate where they debated against Joel Salatin and another sort of paleo advocate, Western Price doctor, and they just totally destroyed this Intelligence Squared debate, and I really recommend you watching it. Gene Baur was also recently this year and had an amazing spread in Time magazine, where he was deemed the conscience of the food movement, which I completely agree with. Gene is an approachable, amazing, nice guy. I've talked to him myself, and he will be a speaker at Colorado College in the fall of 2014. The one, the only, Robert Cheeke. Robert Cheeke is the most famous vegan bodybuilder. He became vegan when he was 15 years old at 120 pounds because his older sister, who is an ethical vegan as well and was holding protests at their local high school, told him to join the pack, and he began to feel very strongly about it. So he said to himself, how can I get this message out to the masses and for people to listen to me best? And he grew up as a little kid looking up to bodybuilders, wanting to be the strong superhero that saved the day. So he said, what if I combined veganism and bodybuilding, and maybe people would listen to me? 10 years later, he was 200 pounds, a natural vegan bodybuilding champion. Robert is the founder of the website and book Vegan Bodybuilding and Fitness, which is the best resource if you want to learn about vegan bodybuilding, how to do it, who's doing it, and how to get connected. He has also made 2 movies, one called Vegan Fitness, Naturally Built, and another called Vegan Brothers in Iron. Robert also represents Vega, Brendan Brazier's supplement brand. Number 5 is Ellen DeGeneres. Ellen has been one of the most influential and widespread advocates of the vegan plant-based diet of the last 5 years, without a doubt, because she has one of the largest followings. She is one of the most famous women on the planet, without a doubt, and she has been preaching her veganism for years now. Her story, I think, is she just watched Earthlings and watched Forks Over Knives and just was sort of hooked and said, how can I continue without listening to this information? She launched the website Going Vegan with Ellen, which is a great resource with vegan recipes and how she does it. And she has also teamed up with PETA on multiple campaigns. Number 6 goes to Chef Tal Ronnen. Tal Ronnen is the chef and owner at Crossroads, which is a plant-based fine dining restaurant in Los Angeles. He is the author of the New York Times bestseller, The Conscious Cook. He has also made meals for Oprah Winfrey's 21-Day Cleanse. Why Tal is so important in the plant-based movement is because if vegan food didn't taste amazing, most people would shy away from it. Let's face it, most people don't eat to get nourished. They eat for a fun event and a good atmosphere and sensations on their taste buds. And if you've eaten at Crossroads, you know that vegan food can be some of the best fine dining food on the planet. Number 7 goes to my man, John Joseph. John Joseph is the punk rocker of the band The Cro-Mags, which were famous in the 80s. This dude's got one of the craziest plant-based stories around. He grew up in New York City in foster care, going in and out of juvie all the time, getting in fights, breaking bottles over people's faces, was just in a bad place, getting into drugs, alcohol. His last resort to stay out of prison was to go into the military in his teens. And he went to a Bad Brains concert, the punk rockers that were all about sort of Rasta, veganism, non-harming, juicing, and he got himself backstage. And he was this kid, just so rough and broken. He thought these guys were so amazing, and he said, "Hey, I want to follow you guys around, I'll do what you do." And pretty much they just said, "Hey, it's all about the veganism, man. Here's a green juice." And he was hooked ever since. He became a monk in New York City, he became plant-based, and he's been a vegan for over 30 years. And he also wrote the book in 2010, Meat is for Pussies, which is a book on vegan nutrition, athletic training, and just a healthy lifestyle. And I'm so grateful for all of his activism. He's been on the Rich Roll podcast. You can hear him in lots of interviews. He's covered in tattoos. He's a big guy. You do not want to mess with him. And he is all about veganism, being plant-based. I hope you liked my video of my favorite vegan celebrities. There's just too many to fit into one video, so I'll do multiple videos like this over the next few months. Check out the new Plantriotic t-shirt. They will be sold online soon. I know it's a flipped image, but you get the point. If you want more plant-based info, subscribe to my channel and like my videos.
This is Vegan Style. This is Vegan Style.